three magi, or we will say sometimes three wise men, or even more traditionally we will say three kings. They travel 1,000 miles to find a newborn king. And of course, the first they check in Jerusalem, capital, the city of king. They go to Herod asking, where is the newborn king? Because we saw the star and we recognize on the sky that someone who will be a great man just born. We know nothing about this man. We just recognize by the nature around us that this child will be a great king. We just recognize reading the sky and stars that he will be a king of the kings. And where he is, we want to give him homage. Where he is. And they came to the perfect place to ask, because Herod and the chief priests and the scribes, they know everything about Christ. It was just like this, that they find out that, okay, Christ will be born in Bethlehem because the prophets say so, and he will be in Bethlehem, go to Bethlehem, and you will find him. They know what they are talking about. They know everything because they are really devoted people. They are really faithful people. So they know Holy Bible, they know what prophets say about the Christ. They know everything what you need to know to follow God. But, unfortunately, it's always bad. These three kings travel over 1,000 miles to see this baby. And they who live in Jerusalem, it's about 6 miles away from Bethlehem. They didn't move. The three kings, three wise men was traveling 1,000 miles to see newborn king. And they just know that something happened in Judea, that some very important child just born in Judea, and it was enough for them to travel 1,000 miles. But the guys who know everything about Christ, who was living just 6 miles away, they didn't go to give him homage. They know everything, that he is the Christ, that he is this one that God promised to his people. But Herod was afraid about him. This is making me thinking about how many of us, how I, who is knowing almost everything about Christ. No, of course it's not true, but if someone will come to you and ask, and saying, who is Jesus? The first time I hear about Jesus, can you explain me something about Jesus? Of course, I know him. I will say you everything about him, what you want to know. But in the same time, we who know Jesus, we who are just 6 miles away from Bethlehem, so many times we don't want to leave our comfort zone. We are afraid to make a decision that Jesus will change our life. We want to stay and say to the people who are traveling 100,000 miles to Bethlehem, saying, okay, you go first, and if you will see something, say me after, okay? Brothers and sisters, we have to go to Bethlehem. We can't be a people who are so close and miss everything. We can't be a people who are living so close and be afraid of God, that he will change our life. Why Herod was afraid? Because he was afraid that Christ will change his life. Maybe he will be not anymore king. Of course, if he will go to give a homage to Jesus, he still will be a king. Jesus will not take his position. And how many times this kind of afraid are in us, brothers and sisters, that we want to stay in our own comfort zone. You know, when I moved to Tennessee, it was the first time in my life that the Catholics are not majority. This is the first time. You know, in Poland, everyone is Catholic. Even if they don't believe, they are still Catholic. Yeah? And I moved here, and this is like a 2-3% of Catholics of the population in Tennessee. And this is the first time in my life that I meet people who convert to Catholicism, who make a decision that they want to be a Catholics when they have been adult. You know, and there are, when I am meeting sometimes when they have some questions, yeah? Say me something about Jesus, yeah? And then, and all this question is like I never thought about this. How you find this question, you know? Because I was baptized as a child, I grew up in the Catholic country, everyone is Catholic. Some questions I didn't ask, because for me it was like a breathing, like a normal, yeah? Why you have a problem that the Mary is the mother of God? Of course it's mother, it's like why you are even questioning this, yeah? It was always this, it was always like this, yeah? But then I come here and I hear this kind of questions, and you know, and I find out that there are good questions. Why I never ask this kind of questions? These questions are helping my faith. These questions are helping for me to be a better disciple of Jesus Christ. And you know, and then I find out that so many of you who make a decision as an adult to be a Catholic, to convert to Catholicism, you are much better than we who born as a Catholics. You know, and this is exactly, it's showing me exactly the same what we hear today in the gospel, yeah? That I, who born as a Catholic, I'm not so good because I am so close, and sometimes I am so lazy to move these 6 miles. And you who move 1,000 miles to be a Catholic, to join, to come to receive a Eucharist, I really think that you understand more than I how Eucharist is important. Because Eucharist, it was with me all the time. But you make a choice, and this is so beautiful. And brothers and sisters, leave the zone of comfort. Doesn't matter that you have 1,000 miles or 6 miles to Bethlehem. Go to Bethlehem. Ask questions that will help your faith. Don't worry to ask. Go to find him. Go to be with him. So, brothers and sisters, let's go to Bethlehem. Amen.